Alright guys, Sane here, and I'm going to do my new deck, which is Ignister. So we'll start off with the main deck. Archetype monsters I run. I got the one of this guy, a little black dude. He's basically a hand trap. I haven't actually got a chance to run in through him, but I like the one of, for one, he's a name, and two, he can help save your stuff. I run 2 Doshin. Doshin is probably one of the coolest ones. He can take one of your Cyber's links in your grave and shuffle it back to search for your fusion card. Plus, if you have an Ignister monster, you can summon him straight from your hand. I run 2 Hiyari. Hiyari is the same special summon if you have an Ignister. And also, you can send a Cyber's monster you control to the grave to search for level 5 or higher. And then if you sent a Link monster, you can search for your ritual spell. Plus, it makes him a level 4 by using that effect. I run 2 Bakuru. He's your tuner for the deck. And also, he sends one to the grave, I believe. Yeah, he sends one to the grave whenever he's summoned, and whenever he's sent to the grave for the synchro summon of a Cyber's monster, the other material, you get to bounce it back to your hand, or summon it back out. Yeah, so he summons back out whatever material you use with him. I run 2 Doyon. Doyon, he will return one of your Ignister monsters from the grave, and then if he's sent to the grave for a Link summon, you can get one of your AI cards back, your spell traps back to your hand. I run 3 Chichi. That's your monster search for the deck. Plus, it can help your graveyard a little bit. 3 Picari. Picari is your spell trap search, and it can also manipulate another Ignister to make it a level 4 for the turn. Then I run 2 Water Leviathans. This is probably one of the coolest ritual monsters I have seen for a long time. Whenever it hits the field, you can bounce every monster your opponent controls with 2300 or less attack back to their hand. And then he can shuffle all your Cyber's links from the grave to target a monster and make its attack 0 for the turn. Non-archetype monsters I run, I got 1 backup secretary just for that free body to help go up in my links. I run 1 Balancer Lord. This card is so great because normal summons or special summons are amazing in the deck, and it can also help banish stuff. Like if it gets banished, you get to bring out more of your Ignisters to gain their effects. I run 2 Widget Kid. This bringing out one of your Ignister monsters just helps speed up your plays a little bit more. For the spells, I run 2 of the Ritual spell. If you have an Ignister, you can use Banish from your grave as well, from your hand or field. I run 2 of the Love Fusion. This is actually so cool because it's a normal spell, but it's kind of like a super poly. If you're using one of your Ignister monsters, you can use a Link monster your opponent controls, which in this format isn't as fast, but there are still people out there running Links with, Helical Fibrax and Masquerena and cards like that. I run 2 AI Land, and this is, in my opinion, the coolest field card we've gotten for a long time. It gives you multiple summons as long as you don't have any monsters in your main zones, and you bring out a different attribute. And then if it's in the grave, you can banish a Ignister card or a monster and return it back to your hand. 3 AI Reborns. Basically, it is the Monster Reborn of your deck. It's a quick play, and when it's in the grave, you can banish it and a card from your hand whenever 2 monsters battle, and then return another one of your AI cards that's in your grave or banished back to your hand. TAI Strike. This card is way too good to be in the game. If any monster battles another monster, you can activate this to make your monster gain or become the same attack. And then, while it's in the graveyard, if one of your Ignisters were to be destroyed, you can banish it instead to save your stuff, which helps your plays out in this deck. I would have this at 3, but I only have the 2. 2 Signet Mining. Gives you any of your searches, and it can also help set up your graveyard if you need to. I run 2 one-time passcodes. Give you that free body, and it's a level 4 that you can use to link summon with. 1 Terraforming. Search out that field card, which is almost mandatory to have first turn if you have the chance. And then the 1 Raigeki, just to make sure my opponent doesn't have any monsters that, could be problematic. And then I only run 1 trap card, and it's AI Shadow. Gives one of your Ignisters you control 800. And then also your opponents have to attack it if they do attack. And if it is sent to the grave, then you get to draw a card. So it can also help you plus. For the extra deck, I run 2 of the Earth Golem, who whenever he battles a special summon, he gains the attack, so it's kind of like a just a battle just to make sure you pass over somebody. And then if he's destroyed by your opponent's card, you get to take a monster and summon it, but you negate its effects. I run 2 of their Wind Pegasus. It is a spell trap pop, and also he can banish himself to protect your stuff from being destroyed. I run 1 Cyber's Quantum. He's a Grand Pulse on steroids, basically. You return a monster at battles, and then if it's your turn, you get to attack again. I run 2 of their Light Dragons. This is your monster pop, and it also saves any of your cards by detaching a material from it. For the links, I run 3 Lingaribo. This is basically one of your starters because you bring out one of your monsters with AI land, and then you go into this, you can do AI land again to bring out another monster. And then it's also a trap negation, and if it's in your grave, it has that quick effect to send a Cyber's monster that was summoned from the extra deck. You send it away, and you get to bring this back out. New addition is I run IP Masquerena. It helps build up your stuff, clear your main zone if you need, and it also gets you into your big boss monster of the deck. I run 1 Fire Phoenix. That's just because it's a recursion, and if it battles, you can just instead make sure your opponent takes 2300, which is so strong. I run 2 of Dark Templar. He takes 3 monsters with different names, but whenever a monster is summoned to a zone he points to, you can bring back 2 level 4 or lower Cybers from your grave to zones he points to. So and then whenever he destroys a monster by battle, then you get to bring out a Cybers from your grave. So if you don't get his first effect, then you get to do the second and then the first right afterwards. And for the boss monster, I run 1 Dark Fluid. Dark Fluid can have the potential to be one of the strongest monsters making him have, I think it's 12,000 attack points. He's just super strong. He could have 4 negates because you run, you know, your Synchro, your Xyz, your Fusion, and your Ritual monsters. And you can cycle through all 4 of those in one turn, and it's so strong. But that concludes my Ignister deck. Thanks, guys.